I want to ask you a few questions about your time at Marquette.
Yep.
One is obviously you were teammates with Dwyane Wade for 2 years.
Yeah.
And do you have any good Dwyane Wade stories that you could share?
Well, I do. I mean, it depends on which direction I want to go. But, I will keep it. I thought about this, and I think this is more so. I think you would appreciate this more. And I think, obviously, for those Marquette fans out there that, maybe they have a Jesuit background or, they're big in their faith. I think with my relationship with you and your family, I know that you're big in your faith. I don't think people know. I think they've heard stories about, Crean and, they've seen interviews with Dwyane over time, or, they might have read an article back in the day. But I don't know if people actually know how hard Dwyane had it at Marquette, and understand like what he really accomplished. For a player that like going into college was told like, he was trying to pass this standardized test. To be able to be eligible for college, all the way up until, he hit campus, and then to be told at the last minute, well, no, you didn't make it, and then have to sit out your freshman year in a practice to do everything with the guys. They do these 3-hour practices, the grind, they come in and to do all this. And then when practice is over with, all the guys get on a team bus and they go to a away game. He can't travel. It's like people don't know how hard that is. Like you're doing the exact same thing, and then you got to go to study hall. You got to do all these things, all these requirements, and then watch, a team go 15-14, 14-15, or whatever record that they had to do that, and then. To him and his then wife, then to have a child and to be a father, to add that responsibility on to trying to maintain, your academics, and to be coached by Tom Crean. And I don't say that as a diss to Tom Crean. It is like my life is better because I played for Tom Crean. And I can, and every member of Marquette basketball, whether they left a little bit earlier, whether they will say that their life is better because of that. Tom Crean coached this dude so hard. He could have a great day of practice yesterday. I mean, like absolutely dominate. And we will come back the next day. And I saw this week after week after week. He will come back the next day. And if he didn't dominate, I didn't say if he played bad. If he did not dominate, Tom Crean would kick him out of practice. And it wasn't just like, hey, get out of practice. It was the sarcasm. It was the name calling. It was mostly the sarcasm. And again, if you ever play sports and you play for a coach that is sarcastic, you're not playing well. Those are the worst.
Yeah.
And Tom, but what Tom would say, and he would only say this to Dwyane, but again, and this is why I think like your faith, and then like he could have been saying it to other people indirectly, but he would say, to whom much is given, to whom much is given, much is required. And he might have said that 1,000 times to Dwyane when he did not dominate a practice. It was the expectations and the standards for that. Like Tom saying those words to him every single day, reminding it's like he was so invested in Dwyane and Dwyane's family and like what Dwyane could be. Like I don't know if anyone knew that he would be a Hall of Fame guard and a 4-time NBA champ. And I watched the Olympic thing the other day. Like I totally forgot like the impact he had on that Redeem team and like how well he played against Spain, I think. But watching that and then thinking back to how hard he had it in college because he had all these responsibilities. And then you think that like they get away from these responsibilities, you're going to like basketball is like your freedom. And it was like, no, like you're not coming here. Like it's not, it's like, no, we are because you have all these responsibilities and because you have this God-given talent, I'm not going to be easy on you. And again, leaders every day, like you have a choice to make. Like you have a choice to make. You're like, okay, this guy's life is hard. I can be easy on this guy. Tom wasn't like that. Tom was not with anyone. But he was not. And Dwyane had his bags ready and packed and wanted to quit so many times. And one, he didn't. And two, like Tom will remind him, like, no, like I walked into your house. I told you like what we were going to do. I know you have all this going on. I know it could be easier right now, but Matt, that dude had it so hard.
Yeah.
And I don't know if obviously that's not a fun story, but to watch what he has become because of that.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. He was probably still been made some money playing basketball because of that ability. But that dude, man, he had it harder than all of us. I had girlfriend issues. This dude had like real life issues.
Yeah.
And Tom did not give him a day off.
Wow.
Like he did not give him a day off. So, and again, it's not more of a fun, but like to whom much is given, much is required. And, indirectly, Tom was talking to all of us. But, when you think about, Dwyane was big in his faith and is big in his faith. And in order to get through what he had to get through, you had to be like committed to your faith because you can't. I mean, it was bad. I mean, and this was when you could coach guys hard and call them names and things of that nature. And even though you don't mean the name calling, it was, it was a different time. It was a different era. And I mean, to get kicked out of practice because you're not dominating it,
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like think about putting one of your, if you're running a business right now and your sales guy had a great week last week and this week they're just doing okay. Imagine sending that person home because they're not dominating the sales.
Yeah.
Like people don't do that. You might say, hey, you might tease them a little bit, or most people will go, he had a great week this week and he's not doing bad. He's not hurting us. Tom was like, no, dude, you're not dominating today. Like you're actually hurting yourself and you're hurting us. And because of that, we're all, we all have good lives.
Oh. No, I appreciate you sharing that. That's a hell of a story.
Yeah.
Wow. It is crazy. I think everything worked out pretty well. You guys made the Final Four. Wade ended up being arguably the second best shooting guard or third best shooting guard of all time.
Third.
I would say third. I would say third. So no, and then it's also crazy to think about, like Wade putting all the work, and you have Dwyane Wade sitting at the dorms by himself when you guys are playing games like that. That's crazy to think about.
No, that is crazy. That is, but like to go through that, it's. I mean, and Matt, like you've like you love sports. You just like all the other people that accomplish great stuff. Like you have like your story is unbelievable too. Like your story, and it's just the beginning of it. Like your story is fucking unbelievable. Excuse my language, but like it is. It is, and it's too like when you think things are at its worst or things of that nature. Like I'm looking at Dwyane. I mean, I can't imagine having a family in college, like a wife to. When you're going to be home, like you're still here. Like I've been home all day with the baby and all these things. Like as a 40-year-old parent, who, like I get those calls now, like, and imagine, like that. And then the media and then the agents and then people trying to get them to leave college early to go to the NBA. Like it was like so many things went right for Dwyane, like for him to be able to make mature decisions the way that he did with his circumstances. It's we were talking about Justin Lewis earlier. It's like I don't know if maybe Justin Lewis got a family somewhere else, like or whatever. Like I don't know, like but something tells me he probably didn't have it as hard as Dwyane, and I don't he could have came back to college and get paid. Dwyane didn't come back to college and get to get paid. You know, like it wasn't like, okay, come back here. It was like, we got $220 every 2 weeks. That's what we got. You know, and okay, we had, our rent was, our dorms covered for and things of that nature, but it was Dwyane was his apartment, they allowed him to move off of campus. Like his apartment was like around the corner from like what Dahmer like did all his stuff, and again, it was gated up and things of that nature, but it wasn't like he was going home to this Taj Mahal of places that like I've been there. So again, it's not that it's a fun story, but like 20 years ago, we made a Final Four run and we got, we're getting some love for it again, which is cool to see. But what's really cool is to revisit the memories, like the hard days, the really hard days. And Dwyane's story is as amazing today as it was then.
So, no, Todd, that is an awesome story you shared there. I really appreciate you diving deep into that, because that's awesome. I know a lot of Marquette fans will appreciate hearing that. My next question about Dwyane Wade is, was there a particular moment that you remember where it hit you like, he's not wired like the rest of us? Like, D-Wade is built different.
No, I can't say that. Well, yeah, no, I would say the summer going into the Final Four year, the Bucks players will come by and play, and they had Desmond Mason on their team, and people remember Desmond Mason as this high flying, dunker, which he obviously was, but people don't remember how great of a scorer he was, like for maybe a 3 or 4 year period. And so they came over to the old gym this time to play. We would sometimes go over to the Cousins Center. And he came over, and it was one of the most amazing open gyms I ever seen. Those two just went back and forth, and like Desmond would come down and use the glass, and I don't know, man. It was just one of those like most the gym. It might have been maybe 14, 15 people in the gym, but it felt like it was like, 300 because of the energy that was in the gym. And it was when I saw and again, Desmond was amazing, but like how I saw Dwyane like playing, I was like, I don't know, man. It was just one of those moments where you knew he was special.
Yeah.
And then, he had a number of moments like that. And again, it was like we're playing down at Tulane University, and it was like no one in the gym, but they were really talented. It was a conference game, and they had a guy named Wartari Marsh. And again, Marquette fans, the older Marquette fans would know these guys, but Dwyane scored like 25 points in the second half, like on a road. And it was kind of like, you need dudes, like not only do you need dudes like that, but like to do some of that, and I call him a dude, like in the most respectful way. Like you need a dude, like he just had moments like that where he could take his game. So like before he did that in the second half of the Pittsburgh game in the Sweet 16, that wasn't the first time he like just went off in the second half like that, or the triple double versus Kentucky. Like he had moments along the way where he could dominate a game in just a different way. And again, it was when you think about like he's one of the best shot blocking shooting guards of all time.
Yeah.
He's one of the best passing shooting guards of all time. Obviously he can play the passing lanes like no other person, but like his domination was like, it was on this display like during the summers, when the Bucks guys came but the Desmond Mason open gym was one day, it was amazing. Like he absolutely put on a show. And I'm not saying that Desmond, like he dominated Desmond, like they both put on a show and they both was on a whole different levels, but he was special.
Oh, that is a really cool story. Yeah. And then My last question I have for you about your time at Marquette is, do you have any good Tom Crean stories?
Got some good ones. I can go in a lot of directions with that one too. I think people would appreciate this. Marquette fans will appreciate this. After my freshman year, it was the spring of 2002, and we just got done playing. It was Dwyane's first year eligible. He played, and we were playing, and we had a really good team coming back. Obviously, we made the Final Four, but one of our key players transferred. A guy named Odachu Blankston. He was our starting three, and I had the opportunity when he left. If he doesn't leave, I don't play because we also had Novak coming in. But he left, and it opened up some playing time for me. But at this point, he wasn't playing, and this is where I think people will really appreciate Tom and like where Marquette is now. Our offices was on Wisconsin Avenue in a small administrative building, 1212. And a bunch of guys, like 3 guys, had to go to a play. Dwyane, Odot, and a guy named Ron Howard, who also transferred. Gosh, like he ended up being a really good player at Valparaiso, Indiana, Valparaiso University. So we had these 3 guys, like literally that, these guys scored 1,000 points, over 1,000 points in their career, and we were freshmen, and they cut out the play early, and the teacher or whoever called the office and told Tom. And people were like, oh, it's a play or whatever, but like where the program was and the image that Tom was trying to create, or I wouldn't say not just create, but like to this culture. We talk about Shaka and culture and fit and things like that. And Tom called a team meeting in his office.
Oh boy.
Friday night. We all are dressed up, ready to go out on the Marquette campus in the spring, especially like the winter is over with. We don't get opportunity, and it was hilarious and it was scary at the same time. And Crean found out, calls the team meeting, and he's these 3 guys that cut out in class, and then Crean just laid into everyone. He goes, and this is where, we talk about like sarcasm and things of that nature. And like Odot specifically, again, he's about to go into his 3rd year. He started his first 2 years. He came in with Dwyane. We were AAU teammates. He ended up transferring to go to UNLV and led the country in double-doubles literally 2 years later. This is how special Odot was. And, Crean goes, no, Todd, and I'm not even in, he called a team meeting for 3 guys, cutting class. He goes, Todd doesn't get his head out his ass. He can figure out, he can beat you. And I mean, he's challenged them. And literally, Crean sacrificed a guy that started for 2 years that was a key, like one of his best recruits that no one in Marquette history, like no one in Marquette community, we don't talk about anymore because the Final Four helped erase that. Like he sacrificed, like he ripped everyone a new one. I had nothing to do with it. He's ripping me. And so Odot decided, like, you can't talk to me like that. And Crean goes, man, this fucking program was in a dumpster when I got here in 99, and you guys are trying to run it and all this stuff. And it was all about image, and it was all about doing the right things. And Odot left. He transferred. And Ron Howard was the other person, and he transferred. Ron went to Valparaiso University and like scored well over 1,000 points there, and played for 3 years. Set out, played for 3 years, and well over 1,000 points there. And he was a Chicago kid, and I mean, he would have been a really, really, we would have won. I don't know if we would have made a Final Four from a chemistry standpoint with those guys. You could say we should have. Having those 2 guys 2 years later after Dwyane, we'd have been NCAA tournament team, like back to back, like, and all those things. Like if we would have had those guys, like Crean sacrificed recruits to fix the image of Marquette basketball.
Wow.
And it was, and teachers and professors and staff and administrator around the decisions like that. People around campus, like, they say, oh, Crean could be hard and things like that. But they knew that Crean was working to put Marquette University in a good light.
Sure.
And he sacrificed 2 really talented dudes. He didn't kick them off the team, but like again, like he wasn't letting them get away with cutting a a class that you had to go attend a play with.
Yeah,
it was the dude did not let you get away with anything. And we did the same thing like 2 years later. Me and Diener throws a party, and we threw a party because we had a kid named Bobby Frazier. Bobby Frazier ended up going to North Carolina and winning the national championship. But we threw a party on campus and in Humphrey Hall. So we rented out. We had our apartment. We took all of our furniture. We moved it in there. We had a DJ set up. We threw a party, and Bobby Frazier is in there, and he's just getting lit up and things of that nature. And like we're trying to show him a good time because Bobby is supposed to replace Travis when Travis graduates, and we got the next point guard, and we're almost done with the night. It's like 2:30 in the morning, and we're walking the last drunk person home or whatever it was. And again, we didn't throw many parties of any at Marquette, but we're trying, and someone's coming out of the some person got lost in the building and they pulled a fire alarm at 2:30 in the morning. And so public safety came. So they had to report it to Tom Crean. And again, when you talk about images and things like that, when Tom Crean found out we were serving beer and charging to get in the door, and we had to recruit. And Diener had he just recovered from a broken foot, and Crean had him and I up in the gym at like 2:00 in the morning, running like on a treadmill. And again, Travis just recovered because again, it was like, and we didn't even get the kid. We ended up getting some kid named Dominic James instead.
Hey, he was all right.
Yeah, he was all right. But it was seriously, and again, that's just kudos to Crean. Like, like he always put Marquette. And I think that set it up for people like Buzz and Wojo. And I think, those people don't want jobs like that unless Crean, Wojo don't, you can say whatever you want to, like he didn't have to leave Duke. Like I think, the Marquette job got, became more attractive. You get into Big East, more buildings are getting built, the attendance, the applications go up. Marquette used to be I don't know how many students go to Marquette now, but I think at the time we were there, it was like slightly under 7,000 and whatever it is now. I mean, obviously you want to keep that smaller profile, school, but all those things, those decisions that he made had much to do with it, had much to do with it, with winning basketball games.
The last thing I got for you, Todd, is a rapid fire round where I'll just ask you a decent amount of questions. Just answer them in a timely fashion. Sound good?
Yep.
All right. First question is favorite teammate of all time?
Travis Diener.
Toughest individual matchup you've ever faced?
Josh Howard, Wake Forest University.
Okay. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Best player in the NBA today?
Giannis.
MJ or LeBron?
MJ.
I like it. Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
02-03 Marquette or 76-77 Marquette Golden Eagles?
02-03 Marquette.
School you would have went to if it weren't Marquette?
Tulane.
Favorite movie?
Ooh, Hitch.
Favorite food?
Spaghetti.
Favorite school to beat?
Wisconsin.
Best home court in the country?
Marquette.
There we go. All right, Todd, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you coming on the show. And, looking forward to staying connected along the way.
Hey, you too, Matt. Thank you.